everybody, thanks for coming back with us, and we are almost through February, so spring is just around the corner, even though it doesn't seem like it because we have about a foot of snow on the ground in some places. But with summertime, a lot of people realize that their pets have put on extra weight over winter. A lot of it is just lack of activity. We all stay indoors a little bit more. It's cold outside, not as fun to be out in the snow and the mud. And so they'll pack on a little bit of extra pounds and come in asking us about how to lose that weight and what is the best diet for their pet. And if you go into a pet store, you walk into your veterinary clinic, anywhere like that, you'll see there's a ton of options out there for food. Everything from different brands, different types, recommendations. So in order to really find something that's specific to your pet, you want to talk to your veterinarian for that. The reason being is we're going to have different breeds, we're going to have different body size, body structure. We're going to have different need for caloric intake depending on the activity level. Is this a dog that's out running, hiking, daily doing activity like that, or is this a cat that's sitting in the house and doesn't have a housemaid and tends to sleep most of the time? So obviously that pet's not going to be in a need for as many calories as that dog that's out running off that energy every single day. So those are all things that you want to talk to your veterinarian about, and you want to really find something specific that's going to be designed for them and is going to make them the healthiest that we can. When you do go in and you pick up a bag of dog food, and here's just some samples for you, you're going to take a look, and on the sides of those food bags there is a ton of information there, and a lot of information about what's included, what's not, what is that first ingredient. And many of those things can be really deceiving, and it's really hard to read that. So one of the recommendations we have is a couple websites you can go to. One is VIN.com, and that stands for the Veterinary Information Network. You can also go to the AVMA website, which is the Animal Veterinary Medical Association, or the, oh my gosh, American Veterinary Medical Association. And you can go to both of those. They are a login site, but there's actually a section there that's for pet owners only. And you can click on those. They will give you information about nutrition, house training, if you adopt a new pet, introducing them to your current pets that you have at home, just a ton of information that you might like to have. And one of the things that they do break down for you is understanding a little bit more what all this information means, because it can be really overwhelming when you're trying to read them, a little bit deceiving at times. So we'd recommend that you go there. But if you have a situation where your pet's a little bit on the heavy side, or maybe there's a medical issue going on, we definitely recommend you talk to your veterinarian. They can help you find the diet that's going to be best for you. So Donna sent in to us asking some questions about her cat, and unfortunately it's a cat that we haven't seen, and it's having some eye issues. It did sound like Donna had taken the kitty to her veterinarian. They've done numerous testing, done some great follow-up on that, but still haven't really had a diagnosis. So I spoke with Dr. Lovingood here at the clinic, and he said if you're in a situation like that and you're pretty sure that you're seeing some kind of changes to the vision, some kind of changes to the eyes, something abnormal, and you've run the diagnostics and haven't been able to really find anything, a visit with the specialist would probably be the next recommendation. I don't know if you're local here, anybody who may be having the issue who's local to Colorado, to this area. We have a great ophthalmologist who is in the Denver area and also comes down and sees appointments in Colorado Springs. So that would be where Dr. Lovingood would send you next. And if anybody has a question like that, they want to get in touch with a specialist locally and they're not quite sure how to find them, you can always give us a call here at Aspenwood and we can put you in touch with the right person. So many of our clients come in and ask about basic things like nail trims at home, bath at home, cleaning ears. Some of those things that by all means you can do at home safely and you don't necessarily have to go to a groomer or come into us. Typically with bathing, unless your pet's dealing with some kind of skin issue that's a little bit different, some kind of specific treatment that needs to be given, we usually recommend baths about every 4 to 6 weeks. You don't really need them much more than that. Of course, if they get in the mud, you're outside doing stuff during this time of the year, then that's a little bit different. But as far as just regular upkeep for them, you want to use a nice moisturizing shampoo. Sometimes oatmeal is a really good one. You can always touch base with your veterinarian and see. There's, again, so many over-the-counter products, it's kind of hard to know sometimes what you're looking for. With the ear cleaning at home, I'm going to use Bear as our demonstration here in a second. But he's one of the things that we have that the doctors recommend is a Pharmaceb. It's a good just as needed type of cleaner. If you're seeing head shaking at home, you're seeing itching, a foul smell coming from the ears, you definitely want to have that checked out. There can be a lot of underlying medical reasons for that. You can have everything from an overgrowth of yeast, bacteria, you can have ear mites, there's just an infection in general going on. There's a lot of problems that can be leading to those odors and those changes that you're seeing in their behavior. So that's something that you want to make sure you find out what it is and you're treating it appropriately. But if we're just talking about regular cleaning at home, using this ear cleaner after bath time is a good thing to do, so that once a month when you're bathing or whatever your frequency is, using that. Keeping in mind when you're giving them a bath, you don't want to make those ears a moist environment, because that's a great place for yeast and bacteria to grow. So taking a cotton ball like this, just putting it down in that ear canal just to help prevent excess water from going in. If you have a pet that loves to swim, making sure that when they get out of the water, you're cleaning out those ears a little bit, using a cotton ball and reaching down in that ear canal and drying it out, just to make sure we're not leaving a really nice environment for everything to grow. We'll show you in a second with Bear what I'm talking about with that. Nail trims are another thing that you can do at home. We recommend a nail cutter similar to this. There's a couple different styles you'll see if you go looking. There's one that kind of looks like a guillotine where there's a hole in the center. I don't have one as a sample, and the nail has to slip through that hole. We tend to steer away from those. They're a little bit more difficult to use, also a little bit more difficult if the pet's kind of wiggly and not sitting well. You can cause a little bit more trauma to the toes with those. We have an area on the toenails that is called the quick. That's the area you want to avoid. White nails are going to be the easiest to see. It's the area that's going to be a little bit of pink hue to it, so you're going to be able to tell a difference real easily. And what happens is if you hit that area, it is going to be painful to them. That's where the blood supply is, and that's where the nerve supply is at. So you're going to have discomfort there. If you do have a little bit of an accident where you nick that area, a good thing to keep at home is something called Quick Stop. You can buy that at your local pet store or from your veterinarian. You just put a little dab on the end of that where that bleeding is. Something you have at home probably that you can use as well as cornstarch. That's another thing that works. Just to stop that bleeding. And then you just want to make sure that you try to just take off the tips of those areas first and work your way back slowly, so that you're kind of getting a feel for what the area is you're able to trim without getting into that spot that's uncomfortable. So let me just show you real quick with Bear. Come here, come here, come here. And Bear can be a little cranky, so we're not going to do a whole lot with him. But when you're getting ready to clean the ears, you want to, and he's got a ton of hair here, you want to pull up the ear pinna like this, so that you're really opening up that ear canal. And when you're taking your cleaning solution, you can actually put this right inside and just put a couple little drops, and then you want to really work it around. Whether they're dealing with a medical issue and the doctor has you treating that at home, or if you're just cleaning, you want to work that around so that you're massaging that area. And their eardrum is way down in here deep. So if you're going in with just your finger and a cotton ball, you're never going to be able to hit that eardrum and cause damage. So you're just going to want to reach down in there, you're going to want to clean, and his ears are pretty clean right now, but you're going to want to have cotton balls that come out with no debris on them ideally. And so that's the kind of process you're going to use. We don't recommend using a Q-tip or anything like this, because that is going to allow you to get down in there too deep where you could cause some trauma. And if you want to give us a call, we're always happy to have you come in. We can sit down with you, go through a nail trim, go through an ear cleaning for you, just so you feel more comfortable at home. And that's something that you can do for your pet without having to head into the vet clinic.